You know what? I'm loving so many people are here this morning.
Yeah,
Love that.
Because some conversations I have with people and they're like, oh, really? That really happened to you? And I'm like, what bubble are you living in?
It actually doesn't have a positive effect on the body.
They know that they don't know and still won't go out and find the information.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that is sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that team, reach out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And people always say, where's Ryan? Ryan is taking a little bit of a sabbatical this month. He's got some things going on that he has to take care of. So you're going to see me hosting most of the time, but we got some special surprises coming up. Actually, one starting on Monday, but I'm not going to say what it is on Monday. But speaking about that, on Monday, we're going to have Carol Nicole back. We're going to do part 2 of celiac disease and the rave of gluten-free. There was so much response to that conversation last month. We're going to do a part 2. And we're broadcasting live on June 6th, the first Friday in the month of June. So we're at half year now. What have you accomplished in your half year? Did you have things you wanted to achieve in the half year? Yes, no. And if you did have achievements that you wanted to reach at the half year, have you got close to them yet? Yes, no. Here in Toronto, I must say we've had better weather, though we've got smoke going on. So it seems to become being now a regular incident every summer. There are fires that are happening in different parts of Canada, mainly in the west, and the smoke drifts to different parts of North America, down in the United States, also here. They say they got smoke warnings here in Toronto. I haven't noticed it too much. They say, though, got smoke warnings, so we'll see what's going on with breathing and all that. This is, for many young people, the last month of school. So another school year is ending. If you have young ones in school and this is the last month, are you looking forward to the end of a school year? Are you getting your kids into camp? What things do you have planned for them during the summertime? Various things going on. Last night, I don't watch a lot of live sports anymore, but I watch a repeat. If you're a National Basketball Association fan, the Indiana Pacers did it again. They won on a last-second shot by, again, Tyrese Halliburton to defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Oklahoma City, I think, was hearing some things with about 10 minutes left. They were up by 14-something points, and they lost on the last shot of the game. And funny enough, the only time Indiana was ahead during the game was when they sank the last shot of the game. So I'm wondering, and I watched the replay and going, okay, Tyrese Halliburton is the star for Indiana. How do you even let him have the ball? Really? How do you have him have the ball? Don't know. That's really, really, really crazy. Number of different things going on. We have Wayne Harris coming up on Financial First Friday. He's got a number of different topics. I see people are starting to chime into the room. And if you are, wherever you're watching this, please shout out. Tell us where you're chiming in from. Would love to hear from you on Financial First Fridays. What's going on in your world? Is there anything exciting? Oh, you know what? And this is going to become a regular practice. What is a win that you've had recently? It doesn't have to be big. It can be a small thing. What's a win that you've had recently in your journey? For myself, I guess one of the wins I've had is I'm learning a new live streaming platform. And thanks to producer Matt in the green room, we're getting through it. And in the very near future, we're going to go. I've used it once. We've used it once on Hanging with Dr. Vibe, which is a new series of conversations. I actually had it this week with Laura Lala Key, and it went fine. We're going to slowly roll it out on different things, but we'll be using this platform and that platform periodically. So learning a new thing is always exciting, and I really, really enjoyed it. So that's a win that I've had. So what is a win that you've had in the short term? You know, maybe I got out of bed this morning. That could be a win. That could be a win. Just learning a lot of different things these days, and I really am just enjoying learning some new stuff. Simple as that. And weather-wise, like I said, we haven't had any rain. Oh no, we did have some rain the other day. Yeah, let's see when we can have a few days without rain. Like if we get 3 days without rain, that would be fantastic. I'm also excited. Another win, another new platform that we're broadcasting on live, a broadcast platform called Kick, which is a gamer's platform. We're broadcasting on that platform now also. So another new platform. Well, actually now it says we're not broadcasting on it. So forget it. I thought it was going to go through, but it always seems to have a challenge when we are on a number of different platforms. So no one, it's a quiet morning so far, but we'll get there. We'll get there. You know what? Because it's so quiet and I never know how much time Wayne Harris has with us, what we're going to do is we're going to go for a break, and then we're going to bring Wayne Harris out. We're going to number conversation topics. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. Black Men Can Talk, a show where Black Canadian men come together to have real unfiltered conversations about life, culture, and community.
There is that weight that is put on Black men in order to show their worth.
But I think our children are now in a space, in a place where they are doing better. As somebody who works with young people.
And in a lot of cases, a lot of the impact that they've seen happens after they're gone.
All right. You can catch Black Men Can Talk live Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And it's hosted by myself, Kofi Morris, and Paul Osborne. And we host conversations, whether it's ourselves or have some friends come on from a Black Canadian men's lens. All right. So let's do some homework. Housework. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe. Oh, we're getting close to 1,830 subscribers. We're getting close, which means if you haven't subscribed and you're up to it, please subscribe. Tell other people about it. Like our conversations, share our conversations. Please do that. Also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I'm going to probably update that. Also follow me on Substack because I'm working on that platform. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com or click on the link that's on their screen. Advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm on. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And then Indie Soup TV, which is powered by our good friend, Dr. Tachi at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I know they're getting near to 30,000 subscribers. So like 30,000 subscribers on YouTube in about 14 months. Doesn't happen that often. Only 4% of all channels have over 10,000 subscribers or more. So definitely check it out. Well, look who's in the house. Mon and Fitness IQ Cam. Thank you. Hope all things are going well with you. I see you are with a fellow bookkeeper. I was looking on your Instagram in the last 24 hours. Looks like you're having some good treats with a fellow bookkeeper. So good to have you here this morning. Hope you and your family are fine and safe. All right. It is the first Friday of the month, and ongoing tradition, ongoing good thing. We have Mr. Wayne Harris in the house. What's going on, Mr. Harris?
Let's go, doctor. Let's go. How are you?
Outstanding. How are you?
Life is good, doctor. I'm enjoying this weather that doesn't require me to wear my long johns. It's very good. To be honest, I only took off my winter tires like 5-6 weeks ago, to be honest.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
like second week of May before I got them up because I wasn't sure. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. It was still up and down.
Yeah, it's still making the turn. How's the house fam doing?
Everybody is doing well. Kidlets are big people now doing their thing, and wifey and I are doing our thing.
Good. I want to celebrate you shared with me before we went live an accomplishment of your daughter.
Yes, she's done some exams, and she is now a PhD student at her university and doing her research. And she was at a symposium last month. They flew her to Montreal, my hometown, and she presented this chart that I can read, but I don't understand what's on it. And she got it printed at Staples. It's huge, 56 by 34. And she went to Montreal and was in a symposium with other scientists and engineers and presented her research. So
Nice.
big things. Yeah.
Nice.
I think that there's a lot of people out there who don't know, but are afraid to be vulnerable to show what little they know. I mean, here's a question for a poll for you, for everybody on there.
Okay.
Ask this question.
Okay, hold on.
Ask
Let
them-
me see. Go ahead.
Ask them this: between kindergarten and grade 12, how many courses on financial? How many courses did you take on financial literacy between kindergarten and grade 12? Let me know.
You know that. But it I'm going to be, and I hear the word too much here, vulnerable. I'm going to be open here. There are some things that I've approached when it comes to financial. I was afraid.
Yeah. Ego.
Yeah. I'm going to be totally honest here. I was afraid. And when I jumped off a cliff, so to speak, I said, you know what? That wasn't that bad. And I said to myself, you know what, self? My ego and my pride was holding me back.
Healthy shame.
Yeah. And that the pain of not doing was greater than the pain of doing.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
100%. I see it a lot of the time in all communities. There are some communities that aren't used to seeing someone who looks like me talking about money in a non-consumption manner, right? That's one. So I come on the screen, your name is Ed Gao, my name is Wayne Harris. You don't know what we look like. If you haven't gone on my LinkedIn or my Facebook, I come on the screen, boop, oh, he's a brother. Now, when I open my mouth, I have to prove that I don't want to call it bigotry, because it's not bigotry, it's more prejudice of thinking I am a certain way. I'm 6 foot, almost 6'3" in heels. I'm a ball player. What do I know about money? So I have to let them know through education first. Show them not so much what I know, but show them what I know that's relevant to them. Right? And show them some things that they could do better. I don't call anyone's baby ugly, literally or figuratively. I let them know this is what's available. This was what has been available to you your entire life. This is what's relevant to you of what's available to you. This is what we can do together to get you to optimize those things from this point going forward, because there isn't anything I can do about the past. And those who want to take that journey with me do, and they get great results. And again, I'm not promising anyone a certain percentage of return, but what I'm promising them is that what I'm doing is in their best interest, not mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that if we can get over ourselves, because everything we do is in confidence, right? You go talk to priests, if you're Catholic, it's in confession, it's private. If you go to a doctor and you talk to them about what's going on with you, and you have whatever disease and it's incurable, it's between you and your doctor. No one is going to know in your house unless you tell them. Same thing with myself. You come to me, even if I've known you from time, and you and I go to the same barbecues, no one at that barbecue is going to know you're my client unless you tell them you're my client. I'm not going to go into the barbecue and say, he's my client, she's my client, she's my client. All right? Everybody here's my client. It's a great barbecue. When I have a barbecue for my clients and you're there, it's a client barbecue, you will know everybody in that backyard is a client.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're not going to hear that from me.
All right. So someone you know, Heather Harris says, "Good day, gentlemen." And then she says, "Leave the girls' trip alone."
Yes. She's out there in them streets with her girls.
Okay. Heather says, "Thank you. All good and you. We are fine here because you're one of the people that's here hanging out with us." She said she got zero education about financial stuff going to school. And she says, no sex education and no financial education. Two things that can devastate your life. Yes. Wow. That is heavy. And she says, outside. All right. Good stuff. Another conversation we used to have with you in regards to this, insurance thing is, can insurance policies for children be transferred to them when they become adults?
100%. And you can transfer ownership of the policy once they're 18. I wouldn't do it at 18. I would continue to not transfer the policy until the policy premiums are paid up. So if you have a newborn child and you have a 10-year pay on the policy, the child's only 10 years old, you can't take over the policy. If you have a 20-year pay, the child can take over the policy at 20, but 20, they're still doing young people things. It's still hot girl summer, still hot boy summer at 20. So what I would do is I would transfer the policy once I see that for life. The technical term is not a knucklehead, right? If your child is not a knucklehead, right? You see them making the right decisions without you having to be there for them to make it, then you might want to consider transferring the ownership. You can not only transfer the ownership of the policy, you can transfer the beneficiary. So I envision myself, someday in the future, in the near future, I hope, my son getting married, I'm fixing his bow tie or whatever he's wearing, and we're wherever we are. Seems to be destination weddings seems to be the way to go these days. Mm-hmm. And wherever we are, and I'm there doing that father-son moment where I'm fixing his bow tie, he looks amazing. And I say to him, listen, I've got a gift for you. Oh, you didn't have to do that, just you being here. I said, no, listen. I'm going to hand him a document. Actually, it won't be a document, it'll be a file. I said, check your phone. And on that phone, I'm going to remove myself and my wife as owners of the policy and put his name in. I'm going to remove my wife and I as beneficiaries of the policy since we paid for it, and put his new bride's name on there as beneficiary because they're married. We're going to be in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take $10,000 or $15,000 in a loan. So my wife and I, because there's tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars in the policy. Policy's fat because we did it when they were young. We're going to take $10,000 or $15,000 and we're going to go on a trip wherever my wife wants to go. And that trip will cost us nothing because the money that comes out of the policy, when done correctly, is tax-free.
Tax-free.
Now he's going to say, "Hey, you took 15 grand." I said, "Yes, I did, because I paid 20 grand for the policy. I just took my money back. But the other $300,000 that's in there, that's yours.
It's yours, exactly.
And your new bride, right?" And he's going to say thank you as any good son would, and I'll do the same thing for my daughter when her day comes.
It's a very interesting question for you. What percentage of clients or potential client? Okay, let me make it different. I'll ask the same question, but for two different sectors. What percentage of potential clients you speak with have something to pass on to their next generation?
Good question. It depends on the demographics. So when I deal with people over the age of 60, they have houses to pass on. Okay. Those who were lucky enough or smart enough to buy something in Toronto when Toronto was doing its thing. The people between the ages of 30 and 50, they are struggling. Their interest rates on their mortgages are too high. Their kids are in school. Their kids are in activity. There's one activity that's out there that seems to be predominant. It doesn't matter if it's the culture of the of the people, but this thing called competitive dance.
What?
Bro, yes, competitive dance is a $20,000 a year activity for your child.
Oh,
And
okay. You know what? I can relate on this. My brother's daughter was involved. I think we may have talked about this offline in cheerleading.
yeah, same
OMG. Whoever owns that business, they're it's
a
go on.
cash machine.
Exactly.
$300 per outfit, 18 outfits required per year, plus travel. Bro, and you can't get a scholarship in it. It is insane. Listen, I want to be on the record for everyone who's listening to this today or in the future. You heard it here. If your child wants to dance, get them to a studio where they learn something for a semester and they have the big recital at the end. And they learn something for another semester and they have the big recital at the end. Costs you a couple $100. But you see anyone asking you to join competitive cheer, competitive dance, or these acro things, avoid. It's a cash black hole. Because if there are 12 girls on that team, or 15 girls, mostly girls doing it.
Let's do some math, baby. Let's do some math.
Listen, when you have 12 to 15 girls and they're all doing their thing, your daughter can't quit because she's part of a formation and they require her to be on that part of the stage at that time. And all the other girls are dependent on her. So now the pressure, once you get in, to stay in until all these girls turn 18, it's a weapon of mass financial destruction for you as a family. But the schools love it, and the industry loves it. And I've seen, so and so team was number one, so and so the judges and this and that. Listen, stop it. Stop.
No,
Do not. I highly do not recommend competitive dance or competitive cheer.
Yeah, I don't know if we chatted about this offline, but I know a few years ago I went to one of my niece's competitions, and it was in Brampton. So I go there. I go in. I'm going, what? I'm thinking, who is behind this? Because they are cha-chinging the amount of money I heard they spent on her, and she did it for about at least 6-7 years.
Oh yeah. Listen,
I've
had people refinance their house, Dr. Vibe, to keep their daughter in competitive dance.
I'm just going, why don't you take your money and put some life insurance or invest instead of, but that's a choice. That's a choice.
Listen, you have to give your kids experiences. Right?
Sure.
I was in Montreal last week, and there was a gentleman whose family owned a camp. He has 35,000 campers from 1946 till a couple of years ago.
How many?
35,000 over many years. And he started using the camp for executive retreats and different things and mixing it up. But camping has become less and less popular in certain cultures because of the shenanigans that go on negative with the counselors and the children. And this is a one-way door that if the people there are going to do bad things, it could be a scar on your child for life, and you put them in harm's way. So people are very, very cautious.
Yes.
But one of the things that camps do, and I went to camp a few times, is when I get on the bus to go to whatever place in the woods, I have my buddies on the bus with me, but I'm homesick like you wouldn't believe because I've never been away. First time I went, I was 9 years old. By day 2 of camp, I didn't remember what my parents looked like. I was having so much fun, me and my boys out there in camp, cleaning our room, sweeping the floor, doing all, getting your tuck money for the little, for the candies and whatnot, learning how to swim, all those different things. By the time the 7 days was done, and we only did it for 7 days, I was a different person. When children go away for university, sometimes it's the first time they're leaving home.
Yep.
And they get out to university, and that feeling that I got at camp, they get. But they still have the pressure of 5 courses or 6 courses coming through, and some of them don't survive.
Yep.
So what we find is kids who have gone to camp have more resilience, so they can go to university further away or in another country because they have that independence. It's key. So if your child wants to go to York, U of T, or TMU, Humber, Guelph, Seneca, Centennial, Sheridan,
Local.
yeah, you don't have to worry about that. But if you want them to go to Windsor, you want to go to Queens, you want to go to McGill, you want to go to UBC, they need something between their developmental years that will allow them to feel resilient when that feeling of homesickness comes on them, and it will come. Otherwise, it's very hard to manage.
I know of a couple who their daughter was challenged in high school in certain subjects and has now got accepted into Brock. She's never been away from home.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned. And she's used to getting the attention and her way.
Yeah.
So I'm very
I would suggest that they send her to camp this summer.
Yeah.
Give her 2-3 weeks, a month, July, to be somewhere where they're not on top of her. She has to do laundry, she has to fold her clothes, she has to make her bed, she has responsibilities, and they're not there. Someone else is there watching her do it and guiding her and coaching her up. When Brock comes in September or August, she will be much more resilient to that feeling. And I didn't know this until when the kids were about to go to university, my son, they said, has he been to camp? I go, no, he's never been to camp. Has he ever been away from you and your mother, you and your wife? I go, no, he hasn't. I went, because I was afraid of the pedophilia and all the different things that camp. I don't want to go out there and have to, drape somebody up. So I said, we didn't do it. So they both went to school an hour to an hour and a half away from home. He went to Laurier, which is just in Waterloo, and she went to Hamilton, which is far enough away that they're independent, but close enough that if I got to go drape somebody up, I can still get there.
Yep.
Right? So, it's something that other cultures have embraced. There's certain cultures that they go to camp and they send their kids away for the whole summer.
Yeah.
They're gone up in the northern parts of Ontario. They're canoeing, they're kayaking, they're portaging, they're doing it all. They come home, those kids are resilient. So now you put them in a dorm, and they're like, been there, done that.
Got it.
Right? They're like, see you at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They're gone. Right? I wish there were a Black camp with Black counselors who would teach these kids about themselves and raise their identity.
Very good point.
And because we have 70% of the kids in university are female in our community. 70%. Right? And of the kids that are going, they're not in the STEM realm. Like my daughter could count on one hand the other kids who look like her in engineering.
Yeah.
Right? So there's something amiss going on where the parents aren't exposing their kids, maybe out of finances, maybe out of knowledge themselves, to certain things, and maybe camps are expensive. So it's a socioeconomic block on the camp, because you want to send them to camp, you would, but it's $1,000 per child per month, and you have 3 kids, and they don't give it. Maybe they give a discount for multiple kids, maybe they don't. But if you're going to drop 3 G's, sometimes it's per week or per month, depending on the camp, that's a burden that most people can't handle. So when their kids go and they flame out because they're 4 or 5 hours away from home and they're having anxiety, understand that them never being out of your reach, leash has been very short, is very tough on them. And my sister can attest to that because she's at a university, she can see.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned there's another couple I know, their daughter is going to be going to university for the first time in the next few months, but she's been a summer camp counselor for the last 2 summers. Full summer.
Does she live in Toronto?
She lives, they live in Markham, but she's been a camp counselor and gone for the whole summer, last 2 summers, gone.
Yeah. It's 100% one of the little hacks for student success that I had no idea about until my kids entered first year of university. Okay. So parents, govern yourselves accordingly. You got young kids, if you can Do your due diligence. Don't say Wynn told me to put my kid in here and something happened. Do your due diligence on the camp. Look at all the records, the police checks, the criminal checks on all the people there. Make sure you're comfortable. The YMCA does a pretty good job of vetting, and they have camps as well. The
Yeah.
brand is very, very venerable. But again, anybody can be rogue at any time. So
True. So
you
Drea
wanna-
Rich, Drea Rich a while back said that comment from Heather Harris about don't touch the girls trip says too much. No, it's the other one about too much silence about money and sex with devastating outcomes. Love that comment by Heather Harris.
Yep.
Fitness IQ says, listen, wedded destination are expensive.
100%.
Yeah. And Fitness IQ says, indeed, Drea, about Heather Harris comment says, JG Mars competitive dance. Yes, competitive dance and the cheer thing. It's like I said, it's a whole industry in itself. And
I don't think it's an industry. I think it's a racket. It is devastating financially. I understand camaraderie. I understand the girls become better dancers and collaborators and all that stuff. So there's some positive things that come from it. But holy smokes, bro!
Like I said, the first time I went to one, because many times when I go to events, like how much money is this making, and who's making the money? I'm just seeing, and I go, how much is this? I'm going. Someone just cha-ching, 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 and I know that they did trips to Montreal, to Niagara Falls. You got to stay in hotels. I'm just going, wow. Let's get back to one more thing in regards to the insurance. How does critical illness insurance for children work, and what does it typically cover?
Good question. Critical illness covers a couple of things. The best policies cover 25 illnesses. So loss of sight, loss of hearing, loss of limb, loss of organ, all things life-threatening heart-related, and all things life-threatening cancer-related. For juvenile policies, they add a number of other things like juvenile diabetes and a few other things, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, and a bunch of other things that they add for the children. So you're probably getting about 30 to 31 illnesses covered for the child, and those will drop off when the child turns 18. You still have the regular 25 that the adults will have. The reason you want critical illness is if you know, like my grandfather had prostate cancer, he died of it. My father had prostate cancer, he died of it. I had prostate cancer, I'm still here. I have a son. Well, I know that train may come to his station. So he has 6 figures of critical illness approved, and it includes prostate cancer. So should it come to his door, darken his doorstep, he's going to get a check for $100,000 tax-free. So critical illness for children, especially if you know your family's got the sugar, and they have the sugar not because they have the sugar because they chose the sugar, right? Diabetes type 2, diabetes type 2 is a choice. That type 1, you're born with it. I got that. But type 2 is a choice. And our community is like Floyd Mayweather as it relates to diabetes, undefeated. We have some of the most the highest numbers of diabetes of any culture. South Asian community has a lot of diabetes as well, and it's because of our diet. We eat a lot of food cooked in bad oils, a lot of seed oil, a lot of corn oil, a lot of multi-purpose oil, and those oils are terrible for your body. So diabetes, again, type 2, preventable. Type 1, you're born with it. It is what it is. But type 2, this is insulin resistance because you are eating too much and eating too much of the wrong food. And Carolyn Nickel is the expert on that.
She'll be here on Monday. She'll be rocking on Monday.
Yeah, I'll defer to her on that. But I think that lifestyle choices, diet matter. You know what also matters? Sleep.
You know what? And it's so interesting you mentioned that. I was speaking with producer Matt before, and he was telling me, he liked to stay up late and all this sort of stuff. Sleep, people don't realize 2 basic things how important: sleep and water.
Yeah. Trust me when I tell you, you have something ailing you, something chronic, you're coming down with something. you get your butt in bed and get rid of the blue light. So your phone, your iPad, your computer, get off of it at least an hour before you go to
Yep.
bed. And Carolyn says you need to be in bed by honestly 11 o'clock
At
because
the
all
latest.
the healing and recovering functions happen from midnight going forward. So you think about us in our 20s up in the club where the night doesn't get started till like midnight, and then you go into after parties and you're eating at Denny's on Carlton, at 4 or 5 in the morning, right? We're doing these things. We're writing checks with our 20-year-old body that are going to get cash in our 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So you can recover, you can change anything. Again, it's a mindset thing. So yes, critical illness for children. Yes, life insurance for children. But I'm going to go run through, in the interest of time, I'm going to run through the 5 things that I came to talk about. Thank you to the family for taking over as per usual. The first thing we're going to look at for a child in Canada is the RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan. We want to have one of those in place for them to go to school. And the reason we want to have them go to school is because your income is going to increase by over $1 million over your lifetime by having a university degree. I don't care what degree it is, but if you have a university degree, you're going to make over $1 million or more over your lifetime. Now, some of these degrees are not firing on all cylinders as others would, but you can see where the puck is going in terms of technology and govern yourself accordingly. The RESP allows you to take after-tax money, put it into a registered education plan. Anything that's registered is going to be tax-free while it's in the registered investments. You're not paying taxes on it every year. It's after-tax money. The government of Canada gives you a child education savings grant of $7,200 for the lifetime of the registered education savings plan. Therefore, you can put a maximum of $2,500 a year into the RESP. So if you max out that RESP, the government's going to give you 20% as a guaranteed return on that money through the grant up to $7,200. But you can put $2,500 in until that child's 17 years old. That's a lot of money. It's 50 grand. But because that money has been compounding from the day that child got a social insurance number, 15 days later, depending on what you invested in, it doesn't have to be a 1 or 2% GIC. It could be the NASDAQ. It could be the S&P 500. It could be very, very aggressive to double and triple your money. So the child's going to school with 150 grand. Now they don't have to go to U of T or Ryerson, sorry, TMU. They can now go to UBC because they love Vancouver. They can go to a school in the States.
Well, who knows what's going on there?
Right.
Yeah.
They can go to England. They can go to England. They can go to Australia.
Sure.
Right. They can go to Scotland because you'll have real money in that account. So the Registered Education Savings Plan is something that I recommend. For those of you who are getting the child tax credit, you can use some or all of the child tax credit to pay for the RESP. So you're getting a government grant, $7,200 lifetime per child, and you can get a family plan. That means you have 2, 3, 4 kids. You get one plan. Each kid gets their $2,500 allocation. If 3 kids of the 4 become entrepreneurs and do not want to go to university or post-secondary, the one child can go get their bachelor's, master's, and PhD with all the money. If they don't use the money, they have up to age 35 to use the money. If they don't use the money by 35, it'll become a part of your RRSP as a parent. Okay? So the money is taxed in the child's hands when they get it at 17 to go to school, but because the child is only working a $3,000 a year job, it's basically tax-free. Okay? RESP in the United States, you have the 529. Okay? Number 2, tax-free savings account. Hey, can't get one until the child's 18 years old. Right? That's a long time to wait. There's a whole heap of compounding going on between 0 and 18 that you're missing out on if you're waiting for the child to have a tax-free savings account. The way to do what a tax-free savings account would do, but get more than the 0.5% you're getting at the bank with a child savings account for the birthdays and Christmas money, is called an in trust for account, ITF. This is in trust for account is you running the money in your child's name, and you can run it in anything. Okay, so you can get that. You can use the money for whatever they want. They need a car. They need books for school. they need to buy a home, you can use the Intrust 4 account. As soon as I get that SIN number, within the first 30 days of the child being born, you open an Intrust 4 account and get the money out of the bank. Because if you set up that savings account and you die, you're part of the community, there's an 80% chance you don't have a will. And when you die and that money for the child is there in your name because they're a minor, all that goes into the estate. And the estate is taxed. So I think the technical term is bond that and put that money in the Intrust 4 account on the insurance side, and that money will go to a named beneficiary tax-free. Okay. For those, we have a young lady on here, Minnie on Cam, and Minnie on Cam is, a bona fide subject matter expert on all things disability, at least in Ontario. And we have something called a registered disability savings plan. This is fantastic. Again, a registered account. The money grows tax-free. For every dollar you put in, $3 is put in by the government of Canada, up to $70,000. Your child has to have a disability that qualifies, but imagine getting 3x on your money, because this child's probably going to be dependent on you or their siblings for the rest of their life. You put in one, the government gives you 3 for free, plus we're investing it in the market. It's growth on top of growth on top of growth, and I see a lot of people who don't have it. Okay, and the last one is the first-time homeowner savings plan. When the child turns 18, get one of these. Get one, get one, get one. Why? Because they may need to buy a house down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got 15 years to use it. You can contribute to it for 5 years. The maximum you can contribute to it is $8,000 a year. When they turn 18, let's say they don't have $8,000 to put in from their birthday money and everything else. You can open it with $100 a month and let it run. When they finish university, actually what you can do is, let's say 2025, you open one up and you don't have $8,000 to max it out. You put $100 in. Next year, you get your big time job, and now you've got 2026, 8,000. 2025, you can go back to 2025 and put the other 7,900 in.
Backdated.
For your 5 years. You can backdate it for 1 year. So that's 5 years in the first-time homeowner savings account for a maximum of $40,000. Plus, you have your RRSP doing the same thing. You can put in 18% of your gross income. If your income is very low, you can't put a whole lot into RRSPs. And most people that young aren't putting money into RRSPs. But RRSPs have a first-time buyers program as well. You can take $60,000 on RRSP and put it towards a house, and there's no 5-year time limit on that. And you can also use the RRSP to borrow the money tax-free to go to school, to go get your master's or your PhD or your MBA. So lots of ways to save for your child before the age of 18 and after the age of 18. Tell me, listen, if you forget anything tonight, remember this: the longer the money compounds, the more money they will have. So if you can start at 0 years old, start at 0 years old. If you can't start at 0 years old, start when you can. And for those things that are available at 18, get your child to stop buying Air Jordans or whatever Air they want to buy, and get them to buy one of the programs that's available to them at 18, and help them with that. We do that, we change the economic game for ourselves. We're not waiting for anybody to come save us. Mel Robbins. No one's coming to save you. Save yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? Whole life, universal life term insurance, depending on what the situation is with your cash flow. Intrust 4 account rather than a child savings account. RESPs, max it out and don't put it in something that's yielding nothing. The child's not going to school for 17 years. If you're not in the stock market, you're costing them money. And disability, registered disability savings plan. Okay. If your child qualifies for one, I would suggest you get one. As of September of this year, I'll be able to offer those as well. Today we can't, and you need another license to do it. I'm not going to get that license, but my license will qualify for that as of September 22nd, 2025. So this is how I would govern myself if I had children. I do have children. This is what I'm doing for my kids. I'm not telling you anything I'm not doing for my kids. Okay? Back to you, doctor.
No problem. Fitness IQ Cam says if you went when it was Ryerson, you can say Ryerson. It's like Sky Dome.
Facts. And Molson Amphitheater. Theater.
Yeah.
And the O'Keefe Center.
Yes, exactly. All right. So a few last things. I'm gonna take down this. If producer can take down this subject, Wayne, wanna just? I know I can count on you on this. We won't. In a week from this Sunday is Father's Day.
Mhm.
What messages do you have for fathers, if anything, from your heart?
Yeah, thanks for that. Having lost my father 2 years and a bit ago, Father's Day it hits differently. But seeing my kids come and have brunch, lunch, dinner with me lets me know that a legacy of leadership for the family and the household is being maintained and augmented. My daughter is seeing what a man does. My son is seeing what a man does. My son is seeing what a woman does, what a wife does, seeing what a husband does. They're watching, and they are watching. I want I want the fathers for Father's Day to ask themselves a question. If they consider themselves head of household, meaning that they're ultimately responsible for everybody at their address, and they're taking that accountability serious. Do they have their financial house in order? Because they are single point of failure. And if something happens to them, are the things in place, the will, the living will, the power of attorney, the insurance, so they can leave a legacy of wealth, not a legacy of debt and scarcity should something happen to them. This first Father's Day will be the first Father's Day that my brethren, Alan Cox, will not be here for his family. 56 years old. He was gone December 13th, 2024. They went through their first Christmas. They went through their first New Year's. Now they have to go through their first Father's Day. Okay? And his birthday would be August of this year, 1 week after mine. I sympathize, I empathize, I feel for anybody who has lost a father. For those of you who don't have a positive relationship with your father, I hope you found a surrogate, because I was at a event last night at CAMH, and it was men talking about, the podcast is called He's a Guy. Shout out to Sean Carter and all the guys who were there. Julie Black was there. There are a bunch of therapists there. And we have a lot of trauma as it relates to our parents, our mother, our father. And one of the things they didn't discuss was trauma around money. A lot of us have a lot of stories and a lot of baggage about money and our relationship to it. As a father, every year you get older, that's automatic, but not every year you grow your mindset. I'm asking all the fathers to take active control of their mindset, maybe for the first time. Find a therapist. There's no shame in that game anymore. Find a therapist who understands your cultural background, and there are a lot more of those today than there were back in the day when I was coming through with new kids. There's a lot more people who understand the West Indian mentality and the West Indian trauma and devastation that can be caused by the West Indian mentality. And get with these people. It's not an expense, right? Most of you have benefits that will cover it. It's an investment in the next generation. Whatever cycle that needs to be broken, you as a father should take the lead in breaking that cycle. So I invite all fathers. Hey, I've been a father now 26 and a half years. If you want to talk to me about that, I'm happy to do it. If you have sons, I'm happy to talk about it. If you have daughters, I'm happy to talk about it. I have one of each. I have a body of work for 26 and 24 years. But fathers need to be coached up.
Yep.
Fathers need to be coached up. Men need to be coached up.
Yep.
And most of us who played sports like coaching, but for some reason, the trepidation to get coaching on your life coaching, people don't want to do. Again, out of shame, out of ignorance, out of guilt, out of not wanting anybody to know their business. And they suffer continuously. Fathers, stop suffering, get a therapist, get a coach, get better.
Yeah.
Back to you, Doctor.
Well said, Wayne. The only thing I'll add on to that is my dad celebrated his birthday a few weeks ago, and we're hanging out for a bit at the house. And then he went downstairs, sat in his favorite chair, and he began to reflect on his life.
Hmm.
And people know I love to document things, and I just happened to have my iPad Pro there, and I recorded him just reflecting on his life for about 50 minutes. And that will never go away. I was able to keep that. And after he finished, he said, you know what? We got to do some more of this. So we're going to do some more of it, because there were a lot of things I found out about that I never knew before. And I knew that he was just telling me. I could tell he was just telling me. He wasn't going to think about telling anybody else. And
Right.
I said, and I asked him, do you have any questions or any thoughts? He goes, I always wonder if I've done enough for my kids. And I think that's a beautiful statement. If you're a real father, have you done enough for your kids?
The other thing is, have you done enough for yourself? Because you can't give your kids what you don't have.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
All right. So if you want to get a hold of Mr. Harris, it's in the comments section on all the platforms that I'm running during this conversation. But there's a website, email address, Instagram. Wayne, as always, much thanks. How was that event last night, by the way?
It was solid. It was solid. It was usually do the podcast, and they don't have any audience. They had almost 300 people at CAMH to run it. So they're on to big things, and I believe the platform will only grow because of what happened last night.
Well, they should maybe reach out to someone like Dr. Vibe that has the partnership with Dove Men Plus Care, but that's a whole other conversation.
I will broker the conversation with one of the guys that I knew. Basically, one of the guys who was on stage, his father and I were roommates in Montreal back in the day.
There you go. Yeah, and
So
actually,
I'll connect.
Yeah, and tell people. And on Monday's show, I'll be officially announcing the campaign that Dove Men Plus Care and the organization I'm a part of, Dad Central, is going to be doing for Father's Day, and it's all based on the LinkedIn platform. That's where they want to get, basically that. So as always, Wayne, thank you so much. Best to you, Angie, and the kids, and we will chat. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace.
Take care.
Peace. All right. I want to run a quick poll before we leave today. Just want to get people's feedback on the show. So I'm going to go real quick. And I'm glad Wayne was able to share about the fatherhood piece, because it is rather important. If you are watching this on the YouTube channel, would love to get your feedback on what you thought about today's conversation. 1, you thought it was terrible, up to 5 where you thought it was out of bounds. So if you have a moment, and if you can do that, that would be great. So as we are closing out, let me just get some stuff here. People are beginning to vote. Love that. All right, so let's do the usual closeout. As always, so let me just get here, because there's a lot on my screen right now. All right, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Want to get to 1,830 by Monday. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also, join the Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com, or share the link is there to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm on. Email me dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. If you want to get a hold of Ryan Knight, website RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Always have to say it's Knight with a KN. Instagram at Ryan.Knight99. Email workwithme@RyanO'NeillKnight.com. If you want to get in touch with me, website thedrvibeshow.com. YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show. Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show. X at drvibeshow. And then email at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. I'm also on Substack. I actually did some work last night to get my first replay show on Substack. So we're working on that. So it's drvibe.substack.com/subscribe, and also on Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. You can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and then Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. So coming up, okay, you know what? Let me just do some stuff here. I want to show the Wallamala. Good to see you in C Nurse K. Good to see you. I just wanted to show the results of our poll and appreciate you all. 5 out of 5. Yes. Really good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you supporting and participating. All right, coming up on Monday's show, Kellen Nicole, certified holistic nutritionist from the Energy Shack Juice Bar and Gluten-Free Bakery, both those under her hat. Going to be talking, we're going to do part 2 of celiac disease and the gluten-free rave. And I would say we got a special co-host coming up on Monday. Not going to tell you who it is. Only myself and that person know who it is. I'm not telling nobody. Also, we're going to have a different look on Monday. I'm not going to say anything else. Going to be a little different on Monday. So I would suggest you check it out. We're going to have a little bit different look on Monday. Then next Friday, we have Perry Douglas, who's on periodically. He's going to be with a gentleman who's the head of the Caribbean Coding Academy. Going to be talking about the importance of coding, computer, IT, especially aimed at the Caribbean community. We're going to have that person on. Oh, thank you. Wallamala says, anytime. Thank you so much. So as always, we close it out. Live your life as a dream. If you can, tomorrow, primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. And I think they're just going to spend an hour talking about 47 and Elon Musk. That's it. And then Sunday, we have Cesar Nadima Musa going to be chatting, as always, on Black Canada Talking. And then Sunday night, we have Black Men Can Talk. So it's another positive, productive weekend. I've got to go to an event tomorrow celebrating someone's birthday. So it's going to be a jam-packed event. So later on this afternoon and tonight, I'm just relaxing. Plus, I've got to do a session tomorrow morning with a group of men I have to facilitate. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure I get to bed at a good time tonight. So as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And also make it better. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith while good. We'll catch you soon.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.